So we're going to cap off the season of USF Pro 2000 right here. It started with victories for Lockie Hughes and Nikita Johnson. Both these drivers in the front row are the drivers who won the opening round of the season. Potentially could finish first and second in the points when it's all said and done. Johnson's going to lead him to the line. Again, 30 laps of racing here for USF Pro 2000. These drivers just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. And folks, we are green, green, green. Racing down into turn number 1. Simon Sykes going to go way to the outside. 3. Thinking about 4 wide. Sykes is trying to get himself in there. Does he come out in P3? He does. He's into the inside. Maybe not. No, big run around the outside. Everybody clean and green so far. Looking further back into the pack, and it seems to me like everybody's got through cleanly. Really aggressive racing there for Jace Denmark. Did not want to give it up. I think he's gone into the third spot rather. Sykes tried to get into the side of his teammate, but Denmark rolled the outside of the corner, kept on the throttle. When you have that wider corner, you can pinch on that throttle and head to the exit curving of turn number 3, the outside of 3, outside of 2, inside of 3, and he really leveraged that. That was an impressive run around the outside for Denmark, knowing that he didn't want to lose a position to Simon Sykes. Opening lap always one where we see the most chaos as drivers pushing hard to take advantage of being that close. Look at that, again, 3 wide coming down the straightaway further back. That's probably 11th, 12th, 13th, 3 wide. Who's going to come away with that one? Someone diving down the inside, one of the T-Force cars. That was a strong run out of turn number 7 through 8. To get that pass done on the inside of turn number 10. That was the number 10 machine. George Arce on the offensive on the opening lap. See some defensive racing outside the top 10 there, a little bit further back. We'll try 3 wide again. Man, they're going at it deeper in the field here, are they not? It's the BN cars pushing hard to get themselves back up forward. Remember, Ricardo Escoto starting deeper in the field. Opening lap in, everybody's settling in. 1 lap down, 29 to go. 6 o'clock start time, as I said later on today. In fact, 6 o'clock will be the intro. Green flag at 6:05 for USF 2000, capping off their championship, capping off the entire 2024 season of USF Pro Championships competition. Our first with Continental Tire as our exclusive spec tire partner. Your full-filled rundown when they come back around here to complete lap number 2. Everybody's kind of settled in. The initial battle is underway. One driver way off the outside, a couple of them taking the escape route. Oh man, a couple of drivers way off the track coming through. Going to pick up who those were. Yeah, they're going to have to come back on the track. One of them, Liam Skeets, the other, Tyke Durst. So some trouble coming through turn number 10 and 11. They take the escape route. Yeah, so indeed, Liam Skeets goes off the track, able to come back on there as you saw, and then Tyke Durst in the 33 as well. Johnson leads, Hughes second, Denmark in third, Sykes runs in fourth. 5th is Mossman, 6th Van Berlo, 7th, those are the benefactors, so that's where they were running up there, Skeets and Durst. Becklin goes to 7th, Garciarci up to 8th, DeTulio 9th, Ping 10th. Dashelski back to the 11th spot, Monteiro runs in 12th, Escoto 13th, DeFavis 14th, Skeets and Durst back on the power. But with work to do, they'll almost need a yellow flag, or at the very least, have those cars coming to the point where they will reel in the back part of the group. Johnson pulling a decent little lead out of the gate. They come back again through turn number 12. Glenn Van Berlo trying to roll up here on Frankie Mossman. Pabst Racing cars running in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th spots. Pabst Racing having already secured the team championship in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. VRD Racing taking the honors in USF Juniors. As they run on the racetrack, Nikita Johnson would take 2nd place away from Jace Denmark in the championship. A lot to be said for both these drivers, of course. As we know, Denmark strong coming into the end of the season here with 5 straight podium finishes. 7 wins now on the season for Nikita Johnson. Could be win number 8 unless Hughes goes after it. Win it or bid it, as he had said in the pre-race show. We'll see that. Chase Denmark, you think about his career, as we've said before, came into USF 2000 for the first year, got a feel for the car. Was in a championship battle with Miles Rowe and Michael D'Orlando here at Portland a couple of years ago in 2022. Ends up coming home in the third spot. But in the championship fight again here this year, his second year in USF Pro 2000. Like I said, so many of these drivers up front have earned their stripes to move to USF Pro 2000 next year. Johnson, Hughes, Denmark, Sykes. I think we'll see Mossman back at USF Pro 2000 next year, which I think will be a good move for him. He's really kind of improved over the second half of the season. I think it'd be big for Mossman to come back potentially as one of your championship contenders. Would love to see Liam Skeets back again, but I would expect him to try to put together a next program if possible. Cooper Beckley didn't even run the full season. Portland driver, man, I would love to see him get a full season here. He's really stepped things up, and we'll get an opportunity here to talk about the local driver. Cooper Beckley made his debut at the Road America triple header, missed St. Pete, NOLA, Indianapolis, and of course the Oval as well. But really dialed things into Toronto in the street circuit there. As he was able to, didn't qualify particularly well, but again, that's a track he was learning for the first time on a street circuit in the USF Pro 2000 car. In the race, he ended up working his way forward, turning the fastest lap of the race. That gave him a better starting spot for race number 2, and he was running in the top 5 before a late race incident took him out of the event, so really showed well there. And of course, Beckley finishing 10th place in race number 1 here this weekend. Definitely has picked things up, but the development curve, the learning curve, although rather steep, he has really started to, again, get a good handle on it. Currently running in the 8th spot here behind Garce Arce. I said before, USF 2000 capping things off. 6:05 green flag this afternoon, so perfect opportunity if you want to beat the traffic to hang out here and enjoy yourself and cap off the weekend, at least cap off a Saturday, the weekend for us in the USF Pro Championships for the USF 2000 race, which I guarantee you will be an epic one. With the championship already on the line like it is for this one, those drivers are probably going to be sending it, if you will, because they're going to cap off the season in style, just like Liam McNeely did USF Juniors with 3 straight wins. This one kind of settling in. Not a lot of battles on the racetrack. In USF Juniors, we saw those little groupings of 3 and 4 cars kind of running together. And that may be a little bit due to the fact that when I talked about USF Juniors and the less amount of aerodynamic downforce that is built into these cars and the aerodynamic package, a lot more aerodynamic downforce in the USF Pro 2000 cars. So they are going to suffer a little bit of that aero wash when you're up under the wing of someone. You're trying to get that run off the corner, especially the long duration corners. You start losing the air off the front wing, which means you lose that downforce in front of the car. And in the start, as you're putting a lot of wheel in it, you really got a lot of input turning to the wheel. It starts to understand, to push through the corner, snowplow, if you will. You're not able to get back to power as quickly. It is very tough to make a pass here in some of these corners. You're going to lose aero coming through this corner here in a big way, turn 12. Glenn Van Berlo is the one that's lining things up right now. He's trying to find a way by Frankie Mossman. Didn't get a good run out of turn 12 that last time, but it's closed up. That's the battle right now for 5th spot. One of the things we mentioned a little bit as well for all of these drivers, we talked about it in USF Juniors, is the fact that IndyCar qualifying once again was out onto the racetrack. They put a bunch of rubber down. Anytime one of our categories comes out onto the track, it's normally in an evolving situation. The track continues to change because if you're out there before IndyCar, it's going to feel a bit different. They put a lot more rubber down again, and the track's going to get a little grippier. If it's a super hot day, it might get greasy as well. It might get slippery. But every time they come out the first couple of laps, when you're at speed, you usually go green the first time by, so it's kind of a reconnaissance lap, feeling out the racetrack. But the first couple laps at speed, your tires already been up to tire pressure. They've not got the right tire temperature, tire pressure. So you have to try to figure the track out. How much more grip do I have? How much more can I kind of roll into a corner based on IndyCar rubber? Every session a little bit different for these drivers as they work their way up the ladder. These racers here at USF Pro 2000 just 2 steps away from IndyCar. drivers who have had success in this program in the last 6 years, of course. You go back to Ritas VK winning the championship, then Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, all 4 of those drivers in IndyCar. Louis Foster winning the championship in 2022. Now leading the points in Indy next. Miles Rowe, the driver we expect to make it to IndyCar. He'll be, I think, a strong contender next year in USF, or rather in Indy next, where he has his 2nd year of the program. I like Simon Sykes coming up on Chase Denmark here as well. Those are the 2 teammates battling it out. But again, as we say, they run on the racetrack here right now, coming up to the 1/3 mark a little bit here. Nikita Johnson looking to try to steal 2nd place away from Chase Denmark. Did not have a good run yesterday. Actually, it was probably the worst run he could have had. Had an issue at the start. Ended up going down a lap, but just nothing ever played right for Jason that one. This is Van Berlo again. Look at the over-under. Van Berlo trying to find a way by Mossman. Almost side-by-side coming out of the corner. Van Berlo again pushing Mossman. And the key here is applying consistent pressure. There's only really a couple places to overtake, but if you continue to apply that pressure, you can force a driver into a mistake. That's one of the big things about this track here at Portland. You have to apply relentless pressure. Fill those mirrors. That's all you need is that little mistake. You need a little wheel coming from 10, 11, and 12. Maybe you drop a wheel. Maybe you just have to crack the throttle a bit so you get the better run. Van Berlo putting all the pressure on Mossman. That's for P5. Top 5 of the championship. Hughes, Denmark, Johnson, Sykes, and Skeets. Hughes with 369 points. Denmark with 326. Just 3 points back from Denmark. Nikita Johnson, who leads the way, like I said, trying to steal 2nd away. Simon Sykes with 250 points. Well back of that battle. But Sykes just 3 points ahead of Liam Skeets. Although remember, Liam had that issue going off the track. He's now 14th, so Simon Sykes looks like he is in a position to potentially hold on to P4. And listen, you look back and it's Hughes, Sykes, and Johnson. Those 3 drivers here were the guys that were winning races last year at USF 2000. That's the beauty of this. They've come up here as rookies and have done well. Now, Denmark not considered a rookie, as he, rather Nikita Johnson, as he did run the last couple of races of the year. In fact, scored a win in his very debut weekend at USF Pro when he won at the Circuit of the Americas last August. So Nikita's been winning races out of the gate. Expecting Nikita, of course, to move up into the Indy next series next year, as we know that that's going to happen with Lockie Hughes with his scholarship. Chase Denmark focusing on that jump as well. So Simon Sykes will do the best he can to make that move up into the category, but if he does come back for USF Pro 2000 next year, wow, Sykes would be a driver to watch for sure. Championship last year in USF 2000, of course, would love to get another one to continue that career. And Simon Sykes driving that scholarship livery car, not the same as the other cars in the Pabst stable that you'll see across the USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 ranks with the black car and the Pabst logo. He's got the scholarship colors on the car and the number 1 for winning that USF 2000 scholarship last year. He's a driver that, again, career looked like it was almost done. We talked to him before. He said had it not been for Augie Pabst putting him in the USF 2000 car last year, his career was pretty much done. If he didn't win the championship last year, wouldn't have had the money to make the move up. He said he'd be looking for another occupation. And I don't believe that, because he's got a lot of talent, probably could have moved his way into sports car racing. But Simon Sykes was able to step up in that battle. Look at this scrap here right now. That's Van Berlo all over the gearbox of Frankie Mossman. But again, that little bit of understeer coming out of the corner. George Garcia-Arce closing up on those drivers. He was 3/10 quicker last time by, so Garcia-Arce in the D-Force Racing number 10 up on the wheel. Oh, a little lock up there for Van Berlo, but he knows it. He knows he's got to try to make a pass here pretty soon. Put a cap on that comment on Simon Sykes. Got the opportunity after kind of running partial seasons, a race here and a race there in USF 2000. Got an opportunity to run for Pabst Racing, who delivered Augie Pabst his first driver championship at USF 2000. scholarship allowed him to come up here to USF Pro. And when you get to this level of the competition, the top level of our ladder system, I think a lot more people, take notice of what you're doing. Obviously, you're 2 steps away from IndyCar. They're really looking at you to try to rate you on what they think could happen in the future of the program. I think Simon, who's done so well this year, a couple of wins at this level of competition. All right, let's have a look at Van Berlo. This is going to be the move here. He gets to the inside on. Yeah, he'll make the move to the bottom. Beautiful pass. Glenn Van Berlo able to go by for P5. He hounded Mossman lap after lap after lap. A better run out of turn number 7. Tossed it to the inside and really committed to the pass inside of turn number 10. It's a lot tighter in there. You have to kind of woe the car up a little more to make that corner. But was able to get the pass done. And Bobby, I'll tell you, just to bring you in just for a second to get your thoughts on this race. Again, not the same kind of wheel-to-wheel action. This is the top level of the competition, but these guys are all so good, and that's really what we're talking about here.
Absolutely, and like you said, 2 steps away from being in the NTT IndyCar Series, but man, this has been a battle start to finish. I've loved every ounce of this racing because I love when guys, and we talked about it yesterday, it's not necessarily the car setup, it's their raw talent. It's what's getting them to that next level, and these guys know where to pass, and they are using their machines to the best of their ability. This pass that we just saw again for what was the 2nd or 3rd, amazing pass. Guy waited, found the right moment when the guy in front of him made a tiny mistake and was able to pounce on it.
This could be the next one here, the battle potentially between Simon Sykes and Jace Denmark. A lot of times in this category, we're looking more at the lap times compared to just the battles on the racetrack, because a lot of these drivers are a tenth quicker, and they take them 10 laps to get that second, but they're consistently getting faster and faster. So Mossman holding on to 6, right behind him, George Garcia Arce. And then this next battle here right now is Danny Jashelski's been able to get by Cooper Becklin. So Jashelski up into 8th, Becklin back into 9th, and Noah Ping right there as well. Up front, Nikita Johnson out by 0.8 of a second. He was actually, the lap before, he was about 0.3 quicker, so it was a half a second, but he gapped him back up to 0.8 of a second. Johnson over Hughes. Sykes definitely closing up on Denmark, but again, once you get too close, you'll get that arrow wash. Look at this group at the tail of the field too, getting at it. Getulio, Montiero, Escoto, Skeets. At the halfway point of this one here, when they come back around, lap 15 will go in the books. 15 laps more to go for USF Pro 2000. 6:05 green flag for USF 2000 this afternoon. Early evening to cap off Saturday and cap off our entire program that started back at St. Petersburg in early March. Pro drivers in St. Petersburg. To NOLA Motorsports Park in April, all 3 series there. That tough racetrack. From there to the road course of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 2 weeks later, out onto the Oval for the Carbonite Classic and the Freedom 90 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That event won by Exclusive Autosport once again with Braden Eves. Braden, of course, running out of the finances needed to continue. Stopped his program. We would love to see Braden Eves back in our program again in the future, but to be honest, the skill and talent that Braden has, experience he has, really his next program, if it's going to be open wheels, should be Indy next. He's got what it takes to do that. He's a former USF 2000 champion, Braden Eves, so either next or somewhere to a top level sports car racing. From the Oval, we headed to Road America. Fantastic facility, as we all know, America's National Park of Speed. Headed to Mid-Ohio on the July 4th weekend. Mid-July to the streets of Toronto, the Honda Indy Toronto. They've been waiting patiently to get back onto the racetrack here to cap it all off in Portland. We know Lucky Hughes won in Toronto. A key victory for him to develop the gap that he needed in terms of being able to come into this race with lots of cushion. Hughes winning on both of these street circuits this year, scored the opening round of the year, the victory at St. Petersburg, then won the back end of the doubleheader at Toronto. Currently running in that 2nd spot, 7/10 back. He has not yet given up. There he is there, trying to catch up to Nikita Johnson. There's your leaders coming through turn number 8 and 9. Down the back straight to 10. 7/10 of a second last time by. And again, here we're into the second half of the race. So how well have you taken care of your tires throughout this weekend? obviously, did you hold a fresh set? Did you have a sticker set for this race? It's 30 laps long. IndyCar rubber going down, as I had said. Tire pressures now up to where they need to be. Tire temps where they need to be. Of course, the fuel load going down, so the cars are going to get quicker and quicker. Simon Sykes with a really big run on his teammate Denmark. Closes it within a car length. Simon Sykes trying to get back up onto the podium. And as they run on the racetrack, Simon Sykes would firm up that 4th place in the points over Liam Skeets. Shelsky, who is now running in 8th, trying to get enough points to move ahead of Christian Brooks. Christian had a great season, was likely in the position to run for the championship, but skipped Toronto and has, of course, skipped Portland. That allowed Glenn Van Berlo to take his spot. Christian, of course, focusing on the Indy Next series. He'll be full-time in Indy Next in 2025 with an eye focused firmly on the NTT IndyCar series. Sykes has not given up at all, trying to find a way by his teammate Jace Denmark. Yeah, this is a really big run here for Sykes. Very close coming out of 12. There's Van Berlo, but let's pick this up. P1 and P2 clean through 1 and 2. And Sykes again right there, but just not quite enough to make the move into turn number 1. And again, it's so hard when you lose that arrow off the front wing coming through really turn 11 and 12. It's not like you can really take a different line through that corner to make sure you have a little bit of air flowing over the front wing to keep that front end planted. And the other thing when you do that, right there, you start to really wear those front tires. The more that car is pushing, the more you're into the corner, getting that mid-corner power on understeer, you start to burn those front tires up. You can see right now that Sykes really hustling the car around. Mid-corner oversteer coming out of turn number 6, oversteer coming out of turn number 7, really trying to get that power down. And that happens a lot when you start to burn those tires off and you're into the corner. You're really turning the wheel a bit more because, of course, you've lost a bit of the front. And once the car does bite, it wants to spin back around a little bit. You have a lot of wheel in it. The minute the front tires bite, the rear end comes around. Unnerving for a driver for sure, and it doesn't produce fast lap times. 19 laps down, 11 to go. I don't think we're done with battles for P1 and 2 or 3 or 4. Van Berlo all by himself now in 5th spot. 6th, Mossman alone. 7, Shelsky. I think the best battle we got right now, honestly, is 13th, 14th, 15th, or 12th, 13th, 14th. Liam Skeets just got by Alessandro Tullio. Ricardo Scotto right there, so Liam Skeets leads the 2 BN racing drivers. There it is right there, and in fact, it looks to me like Tullio may have got back around. Yeah, there's Tullio there, he's got back around Skeets. Unless that's Ping, Becklin, and Montiero. No, that's Ping, they just went by there. There's Montiero, there's Ping, Becklin, Montiero. And the next trio of Alessandro Tullio, Liam Skeets, and Ricardo Escoto. A BN sandwich there. They're bookending Liam Skeets. Going to cap off. It's been a good year for Liam. Liam Skeets came over here for the very first time. Doesn't know any of the racetracks. Learning the team. Had a strong run as the runner-up in this year's Formula Regional Oceania Championship, one of our partners here, the USF Pro Championships. He's got a big run here. Way wide run. Can he come across the bow? Not quite enough. Just thinking about making a big run around the outside, almost side by side with the Tullio down into the braking zone. But again, we've talked about the fact that if you don't make it over to the turn 2 apex and go to the right side or left side of that, you don't make the corner, then it's a drive-through penalty. So drivers have all done a good job in checking back up. You essentially have to think in your mind that there's a wall right there or a gravel trap that you can't go off the track. Over the last couple of years, if you watch any of the videos of the races we've had here at Portland, essentially the common approach to that corner was if you're one of the first 5 drivers or even 4, you try to make the corner. Anybody else, you check up a little bit, and then drive straight through. You drive straight through, oh, I couldn't make the corner, or you do the chicane, which brings you out in front of a number of drivers. It's definitely the faster way through. USF Race Control shutting that down here this year. You have to make the turn 2 corner, or it's a drive-through penalty. And guess what? Somehow the drivers have been able to make that corner. Shocker. There's that fight again for third. Jace Denmark holding P3. Simon Sykes in that 4th spot, pushing hard to get back up on the podium. He does have, I believe, as they run on the racetrack, P4 in the championship locked. Good stuff till coming here this afternoon. We're all said and done with USF Pro 2000. We'll see which of the drivers who have graduated out of USF Pro 2000 can potentially work their way to the top of the charts in Indy next qualifying. Lee Foster's been fast, our 2022 champion. IndyCar final practice, of course, at 5:15 as well. This one settling into a battle, not with near the chaos or excitement that we've had throughout the weekend. But you can see how the drivers have gapped in a big way. And a little bit a look at kind of the haves and the have-nots. It's all more about, hey, you know what, you have to get the setup bang on here. Of course, the drivers have a lot to do with it, but getting the setup right, man, it's so tough on a track like this. VRD's had a great weekend. Winning, of course, the championship at USF Juniors. Already a victory for Nikita Johnson. Again, looking to see if he can't come home with as the winner to move to second in the championship battle with Jace Denmark right there, his teammate Simon Sykes behind him. Sykes continues to push. He would like to get on that podium once again to cap off the season. Seven laps to go, 7 remaining. Sykes, man, has he been relentless with the pressure. He's been a car length, 2, maybe 3, 4 max, closes right back up. Sometimes I think maybe pulling back a little bit, trying to cool those front tires, give them some air, allow that downforce to plant the front of that car in some of these long duration corners. Here's your leader, Nikita Johnson. Doing double duty since turning 16 years of age. He needed to be 16 to be able to run in the GB3 category. He's been running GB3 over in Europe, as well as running here in USF Pro 2000. Unsure of his plans for next year, whether or not we see him go to Indy next and focus fully on Europe, we'll see. Sykes and Denmark not done. It's a great family team at Pabst Racing. I can probably say that about a lot of the organizations, almost all the organizations, that you'll talk to the drivers and they'll say it's truly a family under the tent. When you toil 6 months of competition, not to mention all the testing through off season, all the work that's done in the shop, it really is a family team. And Bobby, that's one of the big things about our program. You talk to any one of these drivers, they'll say, man, it's a family. They barbecue together, and sometimes they vacation together, you work together, but you share the ups and downs of the sport together, right? You'll see when we come to Victory Lane, everybody kind of shows up, the family shows up, all the other drivers show up, and again, we see that a lot over at the banquet as well. Kind of everybody comes together at the end of the season.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys throw actually one amazing party at the end of the year. But you're right, it is a family. And you spend the 6 months competing. You're on the road constantly. You're flying. You're traveling. You're driving. You probably have your same routine that you try to follow and ride maybe the track with the same people, because it just gets into such a comfort zone, and that's what racing really is. It's a comfort zone among a giant family.
You saw it right there. Simon Sykes finally getting the job done. Got the run out of turn number 12, pulled to the inside, and took over the apex of turn number 1. Simon Sykes has worked his way into the 3rd spot. Sykes digging, gets himself up to P3.
I'll look at lap times with 5 to go. Coming across the line, they were 4.6 seconds behind Lockheed Hughes. I don't know that they're going to have enough speed because Johnson at 108.8, Lockheed Hughes 108.7, his fastest lap. He's got the fast lap of the race. 108.9 last time by for Johnson, 108.8 for Hughes, 109.3 for Denmark.
We'll see whether or not they have anything for him. Denmark trying to fight back his turn to work in that draft a little bit. There's Glenn Van Berlo all by himself, and again, a really impressive weekend for Glenn Van Berlo. Again, out of a sports car into this very nimble USF Pro 2000 Tatis machine at Toronto. A debut on the streets of Toronto. Throw yourself into a cage match for the first time. Showed incredible speed, didn't have the luck to get the results I think that he wanted, but the speed was there for Van Berlo. Back in the car again here at Portland. Strong run here in the top 5 by Frankie Mossman.
Mossman 6, Garcia 7th, Tuchelski 8th, Ping 9th, Monteiro 10th.
Cooper Beckman now in 11th. Simon Sykes again leading the way, finally able to get by. To go. Johnson across the line.
Yeah, almost a full second out of Lockheed Hughes. Yeah, Simon Sykes about 3/10 off of the leader. He was 2/10 quicker than Denmark, so he's got himself about a half a second gap on Denmark, but he's not fast enough to catch this lead duo.
And really, if you look at the season, these are the 2 drivers that have kind of dominated things. Five wins on the season for Lockheed Hughes. 7, could be 8 here for Chase Denmark. Lockheed Hughes looks like he's rolling up here a bit. Indeed he is. 2 to go when they come back across the line. Lockheed Hughes is closing. Okay, does Hughes have anything here at the end? How much quicker did he go? 4/10 of a second. Oh, let's get at it here. Lockheed Hughes closing up. I talked about it in the pre-race show. You know he's out there just trying to get a good result, but he obviously wants to win. He mentioned this, and it's interesting. His final race for Turn 3 Motorsports. He'll, of course, move on to the Indy Next Series in 2025. Turn 3 does not have that program, so coming to Turn 3 Motorsports, part of that family, Peter and Mandy Dempsey and the whole crew. His last race for Turn 3, and he would, of course, love to bring him a victory, so keep digging. Was it just a little minor bobble for Nikita Johnson, or is he having any kind of issues? Are the tires going away? Lockheed closing up, not within a half a second. White flag will fly this next time by. It'll be 1 to go for USF Pro 2000 and their whole 2024 season. So they got Tanner DeFavis up the road a little bit here. I think Lockheed would like to have been a little bit closer coming out of 12. Still a significant gap as the white flag has been thrown here at start-finish. Oh, he's within a leg. Oh, but he almost throws it off. Oh, Lockheed. I'll give it to Lockheed. He rolled that in there with, I think, a bit of trail brake. And you see the nose darted left and right. Look how much loss come through there. Yeah, he definitely gave it. He tried to send it in there to see if he could close it up and up. And again, not quite enough. I like the fact that he made a bid for it, though. Respect there. But again, Nikita Johnson throughout this season has definitely showed the talent that he has had. Again, he won in his debut last year at the Circuit of the Americas. Full-time USF 2000 driver last year. Ran the pro race when USF 2000 wasn't in the event in Austin. Won there. His 8th win on the season, lining up here. He's got to just navigate a couple of more corners. Yeah, 2 talented drivers that we're going to see work their way up the ranks, folks. A great run here for Nikita Johnson. He will go back-to-back jacks, winning both main events here at the Grand Prix of Portland. Lockie Hughes second in his final USF Pro 2000 race. Simon Sykes, a race-long attack on Jace Denmark. He comes home to finish on third, the final spot on the podium. Denmark in the 4th position. 5th goes to Glenn Van Berlo.
And how about a green and checker race as well? No issues in the final run for USF Pro 2000. That's what we expect from the best drivers. The spotlight talent we have in this program: Johnson, Hughes, Sykes, Denmark, Van Berlo. Frankie Mossman held on to 6th. George Garcia-Arce in 7th. The remainder of the field still cruising around to get those final twin checkers from Aaron Likens, the stylist, on the flag stand. I have had the privilege of watching Aaron for over 15 years. This guy, and to see him up on the tower as the chief starter for the NTT IndyCar Series in the Indianapolis 500 just does my heart good. I'll throw this out here right now. If you're watching online or if you're trackside, the starter with that flair is also a writer. Check out his book, Playing in Traffic. It's a fantastic book, a lot to learn. I just want to throw that out there. I'm not sure if anybody's talking about it on the weekend, but Aaron Likens, a published author, Playing in Traffic. I think you can get it at the track here where you buy all your IndyCar gear, the merchandise truck. Amazing book. But folks, there you go. There's your unofficial results. Nikita Johnson with the win. 2 big victories on the weekend for Nikita. Lockie Hughes coming home in 2nd. Simon Sykes in 3rd. There's your podium. VRD, Turn 3, Pabst on the podium. Johnson's win's going to move him up to 2nd place in the championship points as well. Jace Denmark, P4, will finish 3rd. We'll celebrate both of those drivers. All 3 of them, actually, Hughes, Johnson, and Denmark, tomorrow night at the championship celebration. Glenn Van Berlo, a successful finish to his 4-race campaign here, coming to join us in the USF Pro Championship. He finishes in 5th. Frankie Mossman, 6th spot after a podium yesterday. Strong finish for Frankie. George Garcia-Arce, great run for George to work his way up into 7th. Danny Dashelski in 8th spot. 9th goes to Noah Ping in his debut weekend here this year. Nicholas Montiero coming home in 10th. 11th goes to the local driver Cooper Becklin. TJ Speed 11th and 12th with Liam Skeets. Liam had that issue where he had to go off track early. He was able to get 4 spots coming back, passing both Ricardo Escoto and Alessandro Rotulio. Tyke Durst finishing in 15th and Tanner DeFabis in the 16th spot. Nikita Johnson rolling down pit lane. This is what you want to do at the end of a race, folks. Be the driver who gets to pull up to the very front of pit lane. You want to have that camera right in front of you. That means you've had a good day. Nikita Johnson, 8 wins on the season. And I'll tell you this right now, he's going to keep winning. There it is. Excellent job for Nikita Johnson. He says 9 wins. One of those wins was taken from him for a technical disqualification. 8 wins, though, on the year, officially. Nikita Johnson, talented driver for sure. I'm telling you, all 3 of these top guys here, the top 3 on the podium, the top 3 in the points, throwing Simon Sykes in there as well, all deserving of a chance to go Indy Next Racing. We know Lockie Hughes will do that with the scholarship. We hope to see Nikita Johnson do that in 2025 as well. Crew going to work their way off there. We obviously have to vacate. We've got the drivers and the crews of Indy Next coming out for their qualifying session. We're going to go down to Victory Lane, ladies and gentlemen. We'll cap off the 2024 season of USF Pro 2000 action. Our final Victory Lane celebrations. We will chat with Nikita Johnson and provide trophies for Johnson, Hughes, and Sykes. I'll be right back. Thank you, Bobby. Let's cap things off right here for the 2024 season of USF Pro 2000 competition. Again, the season starting off at St. Petersburg, 6 months to get us here to Portland. And again, these talented drivers, as I always say, just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. We are going to graduate some talented drivers into Indy Next in 2025. Let's start out with a fight that we saw, really one of the best battles on the track. This driver pushed hard to try to get to P3, was able to get the job done. Finishing in 3rd spot today, folks, from Pabst Racing, Simon Sykes. Or Simon
Big year here last year, winning the championship at USF 2000. Great job on the season. 4th place overall in the points for Simon. Great job there. Yesterday, we had a chance to celebrate this driver as the new champion of USF Pro 2000. He'll go Indy Next Racing for sure this year. His swan song race here for Turn 3 Motorsport comes home second. Put your hands together for the champion, Lucky Hughes. Good job, Lucky. He may not come home as a champion, folks, but the victories kept racking up. One of the most amazing young talents in American open wheel racing right now for VRD Racing. He wins yet again. Put your hands together for Nikita Johnson! I know winners win, right? And you guys just keep winning. What a great race for you. Let's talk about first how important it is to get another victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to get my 9th victory on track. It's just good to keep stacking these wins up. Even though we couldn't get the championship because of an up and down season, we won, the most by a little bit. But just can't thank the VRD boys enough. Just car was just on rails.
Let's talk about that race. You were good. Was it sliding around at the end? Lockie started to get a little bit close. Were you working those tires or what?
Yeah, I was working them. I was pretty consistent the whole race. I was looking at my dash, and I was within like a 10th or 2 every lap. So I knew I just needed to stay consistent. At the very end, I had a little mistake where I denied a downshift, and that's when Lockie caught me about, I think, 5 car lengths. And then after that, I was kind of sending it just to make sure I could bring it home first.
End of the 2024 season, can you give us any indication of where we're going to see you in 2025?
I'm not sure. Hopefully everywhere. So, if any IndyCar teams or anybody in F3 or GB3 want to give me a shot, I'm open to drive anything. I'm a wheelman. I know dirt, so I like to send it.
You do. Congratulations. Anybody else you want to thank to cap off the season?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody from VRD, my mechanic Hugo, Dan Mitchell, Jacob Loomis, everybody on just all the English boys that's coming over to help out every weekend. My mom, my dad, Kai for being here, always supporting me and coming to most of the racetracks. All my sponsors for making this happen, and just everybody back home in North Carolina and Florida watching.
Congratulations, Nikita. Get up on top of the podium. Another win, folks. 8, as he had said, 8 wins. Great job for him. 2nd place in the points. Able to take over 2nd with performance here today as well. Nikita Johnson is a driver we're going to be watching in 2025 and beyond. And as I always say, these drivers just 2 steps away from IndyCar, ladies and gentlemen. Lucky Hughes will be at Indy next year. We'll see what happens potentially with Simon Sykes, a great driver of his own right. Of course, winning the championship last year in USF 2000. Multi-time winner this year in USF Pro as well. And I always like to say, when we have so many quality teams in this program, 3 different teams on the podium here today: VRD Racing, Turn 3 Motorsports, and Pabst Racing, your team champions for 2024 on the podium. Guys, for the last time in 2024, grip it and rip it. Champagne spraying. These guys know how to get the job done. They've been on the podium before. They'll go after Lockie a little. Oh yeah, Simon's going hard after Lucky Hughes to winning the championship. So, folks, there you go. We wrap up the season of USF Pro 2000 competition. Again, our job is to put talented drivers into the Indy Next Series. We are going to do that yet again. Lots of these great drivers going to Indy Next in 2025. I believe we got a shoey coming right now. There it is, the champagne bottle going into the shoe for Lucky Hughes. There you go, the champion for 2024, Lucky Hughes, and the infamous shoey. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in here. One more race to go here on the YouTube channel. We have the drivers of USF 2000 capping off their 2024 season at 6:05 this evening here in Portland. Thanks for tuning into this one. We hope to see you back for one more race here to cap off this year's calendar. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tires, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.